Major pump action right there, but you better watch yourself. And here's why. What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we've got to talk about this major pumpalicious action happening on BTC, but it comes with a big warning. So you better be paying attention and understand right now that this is not financial advice. All right, get that out of your mind. Don't be making decisions and losing your butt and trying to blame it on me, because I'll be long gone after your bank accounts have been cleared out from making moves with money that you can't afford to lose. So be careful, people. So here we are on the 4-hour chart, and boy, oh boy, we touched down here at the 52K level that we have been talking about for how long? For months, since last May. I talked about the possibility and the probabilities of Bitcoin coming down to 52K. It came to fruition. We had a nice long downward trending trading channel that ended with this big dump right there. Big fat dump. Bitcoin went straight to the toilet, and then we continued consolidating, and now we got this big move upward where on the 4-hour chart we are above the 50 EMA line. But before you get all excited, let me tell you that there's some things we need to consider before we call for the bulls to be released. First of all, we can see that the point of control price on this chart is at 59K. So we've got a chance where we could make a run all the way up to 59K. We could break out of here. We do have a red candle forming, but we could jump up to the 59K level where conveniently the 200 EMA line is, or we could correct and start to float back down if we get under the 50 EMA and continue the downward trending action. Now let's back up to the 1-hour chart, and then we're going to look at the 1-day chart because it might fool a few of you people. So here on the 1-hour, we do see a lot of stochastic peaks. This is the third peak we're about to cross over, but we could bump up to this node at 58K, roughly 58,000, or we could fall off and go back down to this node that exists at 54K. So that's just in the immediate if we just keep this side banding going on. But here's the thing, guys. We need to look at this 1-day chart, and we're going to see what's really happening. And right off the cuff, it looks like this is a very bullish chart. You might be looking at this stochastic that looks like it spent its time down at the bottom and now it's pointing up. Looking for a cycle up, right? That looks pretty bullish. And we also see that we've got an impending crossover happening on the MACD. We're printing light red bars on the histogram as we approach the 0 line. But like I always say, you have got to compare the return on the peaks. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's just go back upstairs and look at the top. Oopsie, I didn't mean to move that line. Let's look at all of this action. So each time we have a stochastic peak like here, we were at this price up at 71,000. Then we go down and we have another stochastic peak back up to above 71,000. And we run it on down, slight bump up, and the next stochastic peak is what? 68,000. And we had this little triple top stochastic peak that brought us all the way back up to 69.9, but we bumped our heads and didn't get back above 70,000. So then the next dip down is when we went down to just about the red dash line, 52K, and we come up and here is our current stochastic peak that returned a price of 65K. So what do we see here? we see a series of lower highs on the stochastic peak. So here's a high point, here's a high point, here's a high point, and they were just kind of keeping pace, keeping level. And then these next two are lower highs. You see these? Lower highs. What do we have next? Another lower high. Now, as the stochastic has crossed over and is pointing upward bullish, how far up is it going to push? What is going to be the peak of this current stochastic run up if it does cycle all the way up? Well, there's two things I see on the chart. Number one, a 200 EMA line is floating above our head somewhere around 60K, 59K. And we also see a death cross that is about to happen where the 50 EMA line crosses over the 200 EMA. That is a confirmation of a bearish trending trading channel. And that's why I think you all better be careful and just put in your list of possibilities, the fact that we could pump on up to this 200 EMA line and continue the bearish action. We could come back down to the red dashed line. And that red dashed line could slap us around and smack us right back down below where we had our complete rock bottom worst case scenario that I was looking at, which was 44K. Now there's a few people that are talking about the possibility of going below the red dash line. Okay, so let's look at the 1 week chart. Whereas this 1 day chart says we're moving up, nice strong 3 green candles in a row. The stochastic is just about to move over that 20 line. Will it cycle all the way up and down, or will it fake out and stay in the oversold zone? Well, the 1 week chart will give us a little bit of insight on that. So looking at the 1 week, we see nothing but this great big fat, what it looks like is a bull flag to me. So if we were to draw some lines on this chart, we'd have a pole, and then we would have this bull flag that's kind of just slightly dipping downward. This looks like a classic bull flag to me. And what I think that could happen is we get down to the bottom here at the red dash line, and then all of a sudden October hits and we come bouncing out of this to a new all-time high. That's just a theory, okay? Let's see here. Looking downstairs at the stochastic, this is looking bearish. All right. So while the 1 day has how many cycles within the 1 week? It has 7 cycles. So we might finish that 1 day cycle. And what do we have with the stochastic on the 1 week? But a clear bearish. Let's make that red. We have a bearish crossover. We did cross right there. In fact, it tried to fake and go up, and then it just curled back over. And it's looking like that stochastic cycle on the 1 day is not done. Why? Well, here's the reason. Look at the MACD lagging oscillators and the direction that they are headed. Here's the direction right there. Okay, we do have a light red candle, but look at the distance between the fast line and the slow line. It's parallel. It's parallel. So both of these lines are just sailing downward, parallel to each other, where there's no indication that this blue line is wanting to come up and cross over and go bullish. So in other words, it might not be time yet. We need to complete this cycle here where maybe we go into oversold one more time before we get into the bull run, and then we bounce up for a period of several months and we just trend up, up, up and away. But we're going to have to wait for this to play out. This thing needs to finish. Are we going to go into the oversold zone, or are we going to bounce around and just curl on up? It's a 50-50 shot, and I am leaning towards the possibility that we're going to hit this red dash line or go below. Now, I told you before that the rock bottom estimation is based on a couple of big volume nodes down below. Here's one at 48K, and then here's the one I talked about before at 44K. So notice I've got this blue line here. let's extend this descending blue line and just see where things match up. All right. So if we were to bounce around, up and down, and continue this downward trending bearish trading channel, and we get to, say, the 44K node right here at the time that the stochastic on the 1 week bottoms out. All right, so if we bottom out right here, it could possibly coincide with the final touchdown on that descending blue line, at which it should bounce off and we head into the bull run, because we're going to have a bull run. It's going to happen no matter what. Even with the nasty economic conditions that are going on worldwide, and with the Dow Jones Industrial kind of struggling, with the DXY sitting at 101, it's kind of just side banding. But I think that once we get done with this downward trending trading channel, it's going to be time to partay. So while we continue to descend, I'm going to be snatching alts, memes. I'm not buying Bitcoin because it doesn't represent a big bang, as far as a multiplier. We might go 2x from here, maybe 2.5 to the bull market peak. But the memes and the altcoins, we have opportunities from, say, 10K to 100K. I'm sitting on Kaspa, which is the biggest altcoin bag. Kaspa is sitting at, 16 cents right now. And I have 102,000 Kaspa. And that is going to give me my most monumental return of this market cycle, because, of course, I bought Kaspa at 0.004, 0.04 of a cent. But I'm looking to play around with memes, and I'm willing to take a risk. I've taken risks, and I have lost money, unrealized losses, as I haven't sold out. But I can play around because I know that Kaspa is going to give me my biggest return on my investment for this cycle. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you excited about the current green candle, or do you feel that this bearish trending trading channel is not done? Do you agree with me that we could plummet down to the red dashed line, or even farther below? Do you think 44K is a possibility? I'd say the red dashed line represents the highest probability, and next to that, 44K is a probability, which would be equal of bouncing off of where we're at right now and moving up. But we're going to have to keep our eyes on it. Let me know if there's some alts or some memes that you would like me to run the numbers on. I'm sitting on some nice alts. I'm sitting on some nice memes. And once we reverse this action on Bitcoin, we're going to have some really ripe and juicy picks that could pull some 10Xs in the short term within a matter of weeks, guys. All right. So anyhow, that is about all I've got for this video. Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. And until next time, this is Carlton, and I am out.